Well, let's get more on the timing and implications of this move now. Michele Dunne is the director of the Atlantic Council, a Washington-based think tank, and she's a former member of the White House National Security Council staff. Thanks for joining us. Well, as we've been reporting there, this has been going on for 5 months now, and this response by the Syrian regime has been getting steadily more brutal. Why has it taken the Obama administration so long to call for Bashar al-Assad to step down?
The Obama administration was reluctant to declare at the outset that Bashar al-Assad must leave because, of course, that raises the question immediately, well, what are you going to do about it? So they've waited quite a long time for an international consensus to emerge. And the very important thing that happened in the last week or so was for major Arab countries, Saudi Arabia and other Gulf countries, and for Turkey, to basically run out of patience with Bashar al-Assad and to say that to condemn the violence in strong terms, and in the case of Saudi Arabia and the Arab countries to withdraw their ambassadors. This, I think, paves the way for what the United States feels will be a consensus with Europe on the fact that Assad must go, and that will in turn generate pressure on Russia, China, India, and others to join that consensus.
Was there any additional hesitancy in calling for Assad to step down because the U.S. was worried about who would replace him?
I think there's still concern about that. The Syrian opposition abroad has held several meetings, but there hasn't been a clear opposition leadership that has emerged, and the opposition inside Syria has been so repressed that it really has not been able to meet or organize effectively. I think that's still an issue. There's not at all a clear sense of what will happen if Assad leaves.
Well, I guess it's all well to stand on the lofty podiums in Washington and make a call for Assad to step down. Is he going to listen?
No, I don't think he's going to listen, and I don't think that's the idea behind what the United States did. The idea behind both the call for Assad to step down and the economic sanctions that the U.S. announced today is to lead the way for Europe to do likewise, and European economic sanctions will be far more meaningful than American economic sanctions, and for that to send the signal to important quarters within Syria, the military, the economic elite in Damascus and Aleppo, that there's no place to go, that al-Assad has no friends, and that they won't be able to make any money, there won't be any prosperity in Syria while he's in power.
Well, you mentioned an important component there of the Syrian ruling class, the military. Is the United States, and perhaps with its European partners, going to be able to persuade the military to stop its support for the regime?
There's a question of resources. The Syrian government derives some 25% of its revenue from oil exports, and if the EU follows suit with what the United States did, there could be the Syrian government will be deprived of a certain amount of revenue, but it has extensive reserves. So it's not the case that the Syrian military will be immediately starved of resources. There are different, however, divisions of the Syrian army. The 4th Division, which is headed by President al-Assad's brother, most certainly will stick with him till the end. So there's a question whether the other divisions of the army might turn against Assad, but not all of the Syrian military is likely to do that.
Michele Dunne, I've got to leave it there. Thank you.
You're welcome.